Hello, this is Blue Joe Saunders, WBO middleweight champion of the world. Subscribe to Sporting Icons to stay in touch with all the top news. God bless you all.
Now, ever since I started my channel, I've always made it very clear that I'm a big fan of Billy Joe Saunders. Okay, I always have been. I think that he's one of the most naturally gifted boxers to have ever been created in Great Britain. When you add to the fact that he's a southpaw as well, it makes it all the more difficult for his opponents, right? Now, some people like him the way that I do because of what he does in the ring, and I appreciate his skills and all that kind of stuff. Other people don't like him because of what happens outside the ring. And as I say time and time again, what happens outside the ring ain't none of my concern, nor is it any of my business. But with Billy Joe Saunders, he has a very good resume, a very good record. He does. Now, okay, last time he lost to Canelo Alvarez. Some people say he quit. Some people say he got pulled out of the fight and blah. Some people say he should have just continued to fight. I mean, risk his eye and being blind, all that kind of stuff. I've never been a proponent of that. When Kell Brook for Triple G, and then with Errol Spence Jr., then of course with Daniel Dubois against Joe Joyce and that, I've always said the fight should be stopped. However the fight's going to be stopped, it should be stopped. It's your eyesight. Okay, this is not Roman times of gladiators, okay? It's not, all right? It's boxing. It's a sport, okay? Now, him losing to Canelo Alvarez, so what? So what? He put his world title on the line and he went to the United States of America and he got paid very handsomely. And he took a risk, okay? Now, if you look at his record, look who he's been in there with. Look who he's beaten. Chris Eubank Jr., he's the first person to defeat Chris Eubank Jr. Andy Lee, Gary Spike O'Sullivan. Took David Lemieux to school. And it wasn't long ago, David Benavidez just fought him. The same guy. Okay? So, plus many other names for Billy Joe Saunders, who is a two-weight world champion, WBO, for the middleweight and super middleweight. Fantastic fighter, and I do miss seeing him fight. I do. I miss his antics at the press conferences. I miss seeing him do all his interviews and all that kind of stuff. I like Billy Joe Saunders, I do. And I want to see him come back. Listen, I don't care what weight he's going to come back at. I don't care if he's going to come back at light heavyweight. If he can come back as cruiserweight. It makes no difference to me. Just get back in, get whatever ring rust off, if there is any, and then get back on the horse, get back down to super middleweight, and make an assault on it. Why not become world champion again? Now, you could say Canelo Alvarez, he's undisputed champion, how does he get the belts off him? Well, there's always the option for a rematch down the line if he gets himself back in a mandatory position. But also, when you're a unified and an undisputed champion, you can't keep those belts for too much longer because you get mandatories backed up. And when's the last time Canelo fought a mandatory? When? Now, he's got one in John Ryder coming up, but he's still got 3 other belts. Okay? So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Canelo Alvarez and all those belts. But I'd like to see Billy Joe Saunders get back in there. I'd like to see him maybe in the summertime, after his comeback fight, if you like, take on the winner of Caleb Plant and David Benavidez. I think Billy Joe Saunders, if he's fit and he's motivated, he beats both of them. Comfortably beats them. Listen, some of you may well disagree. That's absolutely fine. Everything's subjective, and we won't ever know until we actually see people in the ring. But my opinion is that Billy Joe Saunders beats either of those quite comfortably. He does. I'd like to see him, listen, if he wants to campaign at light heavyweight, Callum Smith. Maybe Triple G would be interested to go to super middleweight, take on Billy Joe Saunders. Them two have had a bit of a grudge for quite some time. It's a fight that I wish that I'd seen, and unfortunately we never did. So Triple G and Golovkin, I'd love to see that fight. Maybe a rematch with Chris Eubank Jr. if all going well against Liam Smith in their rematch at Anfield. If Chris Eubank Jr. beats Liam Smith, there's always that option for the rematch, isn't there? Maybe Jamal Charlo, WBC middleweight world champion, he said that he'd move up to the super middleweight division. He's quite comfortable at that kind of weight, and he'd like to fight Dimitri Bivol. I don't believe it when he said that. I think he's just clout chasing. But if he wants to go to super middleweight, why not Billy Joe Saunders? There's plenty of fights out there for him. Plenty of fights. I want to see Billy Joe Saunders come back, be active, be busy and make an assault on it. If it works, fantastic. He becomes a 3-time world champion. If he doesn't, well, he's picked up a bit of money along the way, and he gave it a go, and he can bow out of boxing and go, well, I tried. I gave my best. Now, who's his promoter going to be? We don't know. Is he going to continue with Matchroom? We'll have to wait and see on DAZN. Is he going to go over to Sky Sports? Is he going to go back to Queensbury? Who knows? Maybe he's going to be a free agent and just go to whatever offer comes through. We'll have to wait and find out. But ultimately, of course, that will dictate as to what kind of fights he's going to get. Maybe he's going to base himself in America. I don't know. Is he going to be training with Ben Davison full time? Is he going to go back to Mark Tibbs? All these questions, of course, we'll all find out in due course. But either way, I personally, I want to see BJ Saunders back in that ring. I do. I said, naturally gifted, phenomenal, awkward as hell. All right, so anyway, that's my thoughts on BJ Saunders. You drop me yours, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.